Minority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for indulgence. Mr. Speaker, I wish, pursuant to Standing Order number 44, 2B, seek leave to make a statement in relation to a stalemate in the Committee on Selection over proposed changes in membership of various House committees by the Minority Coalition Party. Honorable Speaker, the committee system of the National Assembly is anchored in Article 124 of the Constitution and the relevant standing orders. Specifically, Honorable Speaker, the Committee on Selection is established under Standing Order number 172 and is responsible for nominating members to serve in various House committees. Honorable Speaker, Standing Order number 172 provides that the Committee on Selection shall consist of the leader of the majority party, who is the chairperson, the leader of the minority party, not less than 11 and not more than 19 members, who are nominated by parliamentary parties and approved by this House. Honorable Speaker, Standing Order number 2 defines a parliamentary party as a party or coalition of parties consisting of not less than 5% of the membership of the National Assembly. The Azimio coalition therefore qualifies as a parliamentary party. The same Standing Order number 172 recognizes the duty of the minority party to place its members in House committees. This duty extends to making changes in the membership of the House committees whenever it is deemed necessary. Honorable Speaker, during the Committee on Selection sitting held on Wednesday, 22nd February 2023, the minority party leadership proposed changes on minority party membership to a number of House committees. To the consternation of the minority party, the said proposed changes met strong opposition from members of the majority party in the Committee on Selection, eventually denying them the requisite approval, thereby occasioning the current impasse. Honorable Speaker, it's against this backdrop that the minority party seeks your intervention on this critical matter. We are seeking your guidance on the same and specifically invite you to make a determination on the following issues. 1, whether choices and decisions of a parliamentary party or coalition on its representation on House committees are an exclusive mandate and preserve of the respective party or coalition, or a function to be shared by other parties or coalitions in the House. 2, whether members of the majority party in the Committee on Selection can veto, challenge, or oppose changes to House committee membership proposed by the minority party. 3, whether it is intended, under Standing Orders number 172 and 173, that parliamentary parties would be granted powers to veto or challenge each other's decisions, especially on appointment or change in appointment of House committee membership. Honorable Speaker, it can clearly be gleaned from Standing Order number 173(1) that nomination of a member to serve on a select committee simply requires consultation of the Committee on Selection with the relevant parliamentary parties. The Standing Order stipulates as follows, of course in part, that unless otherwise provided by any written law or these standing orders, the Committee on Selection shall, in consultation with parliamentary parties other than parliamentary parties and independents, nominate members who shall serve on a select committee. Honorable members, Honorable Speaker, in our understanding, the consultation provided for here refers to the courtesy of formally informing all members of the Committee on Selection of a party's or coalition's choices of members to serve on a House committee in order that the proposals eventually submitted to the House for approval are regarded as property of the Committee on Selection in the spirit of bipartisanship in the conduct of parliamentary business. It would otherwise have been too disorderly for each nominating party or coalition to present to the whole House for approval its own nominees to various House committees. Given that the resultant committees are committees of this House and not of the respective parties or coalitions, it is only logical that parties or coalitions extend courtesy Honorable Speaker.
You said your statement will take 3 minutes.
Just 1 more minute, or 1.5. Honorable Speaker, neither Standing Order number 172 nor 173 presupposes a situation where either the majority or minority side of the committee can veto, oppose, or otherwise challenge the appointment or change thereof of House committee membership by parliamentary parties to various House committees. Where the majority or minority parties purport to do so, it is tantamount to infringing on the right and exclusive mandate of the party seeking to make those appointments or effect changes in its appointments. Honorable Speaker, our reading of Standing Orders 172 and 173 does not establish that they were meant to grant either the majority or minority side powers to veto or in any way challenge the other side's choice or decisions in this regard. And I want to conclude because I'm just paraphrasing now. Honorable Speaker, the stance taken by the majority party membership in the Committee on Selection on this matter not only therefore sets a dangerous precedent, but has the added effect of stifling the practice of true multi-party democracy under Article 4 of Article 2 of the Constitution. Honorable Speaker, it is our submission that there's neither provision in the Constitution of Kenya, legislation, standing orders, nor any precedent in the traditions and practices of the Houses of Parliament in the Commonwealth that would support the impunged position adopted by the minority party membership, I think majority party, in the Committee on Selection on the matter in question. And I want to conclude now. Honorable Speaker, finally, Honorable Speaker, we invite you to apply your mind and vast experience to this matter and deliver a considered ruling that will not only unlock the unnecessary stalemate, but also preserve the integrity and credibility of the institution of the National Assembly. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Wandayi. Since you are inviting me to make a determination and you make reference to the conduct in the committee where both you and your colleague in the majority sit, let me give him a minute or two to make a comment on the matter.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Let me thank the leader of minority on that statement. However, Honorable Speaker, if you read our standing orders, Standing Order 87-2, Honorable Speaker, Standing Order says that it shall be out of order to introduce an argument on any specific question upon which the House has taken a decision during the same session, except upon a motion to rescind the decision made with the permission of the Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I read that standing order because having keenly listened to the leader of minority, I don't know whether he intends to rescind the decision of the House and of the committee, because the committee also sits on behalf of the larger plenary, and therefore a decision made in committee, unless there is a motion to rescind that decision, then I just wonder what the minority leader may be inviting you to do. However, Honorable Speaker, the issues are spoken to, and because he has alluded to the fact that the leadership or those in the majority may want to stifle any changes within the minority. And I did state here, Honorable Speaker, it is not our business in the majority to manage the minority, and we have no such intentions. We'll just invite the minority to manage their own affairs within their coalition, just like those of us in the majority manage our own affairs. And Honorable Speaker, without involving the majority in how they arrive at their decisions. But I did indicate, Honorable Speaker, even when the minority whip raised that issue on the floor here, that indeed before the committee a decision had been made. And that is how the motion that appeared on the floor of the House in the manner it came, without changes in the minority party. Honorable Speaker, even in committee, we did indicate to the minority leader, and I want to repeat the same, in the House, the minority has every right to make whatever changes they want to make. And as chair of the Selections Committee, Honorable Speaker, I want to assure the leader of minority that should he indicate the desire to make any changes, we are ready and willing to convene a meeting. And indeed, Honorable Speaker, as we adjourned that meeting, we did indicate that we are trying to come up with a framework on how members of parliament to enjoy uninterrupted service in committees during a session of parliament. And when we want to change members in the leadership, Honorable Speaker, there at least be some basis so that we always enjoy some objectivity in how we place members in committees or displace others, Honorable Speaker. And therefore, I want to invite the leader of minority, if there are any changes that the minority may desire to make, the Selections Committee, even as we work on that framework, because we did indicate, and I think since he's a member of that committee together with the Deputy Leader, Honorable Robert Mbui, who was not in the meeting that day, we had indicated from the beginning that we do not want the Selections Committee to be a committee that only sits once in a session of Parliament, but we will occasionally sit to review the performance of members in committees. Performance right from attendance and active participation, so that we encourage our members to give their skills and expertise in committees. Therefore, if you are a member of a committee, you usually don't attend that committee, it is only fair that you allow another member who has the time to offer his time before a committee. And that's the kind of framework we want to ensure, and I did indicate, Honorable Speaker, is only in the pursuit of fairness, so that tomorrow I don't remove the Honorable Naomi from one committee and take her to another committee, just at the whim of it. So that we have a framework. If the Honorable Naomi, and she will forgive me for using her as an example, usually doesn't attend the Transport Committee, and she's a member of the Transport Committee, for instance, and the Honorable Kagombe here is an engineer who wants to offer his skills and expertise in road construction before that committee, then we have basis to remove the Honorable Naomi and get someone with the skills to serve in that particular committee. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, is just to reiterate to the leader of minority and the minority leadership that we are very much willing, even tomorrow or the day after, to convene a Selections Committee meeting even before we work on that framework, so that he doesn't in any way feel that the majority wants to lord over them. We are a very democratic majority party and majority coalition that intends to facilitate the work of the minority in offering meaningful oversight. And indeed, we want to see that even in the oversight committees, they place the best within their team, so that those who may have stolen from Telcom Kenya and the 34 billion shillings that we have seen from the Auditor General's report, stolen from the fuel subsidy fund, Honorable Speaker, we can offer meaningful oversight and ensure that these things do not ever happen again. Honorable Speaker, if you can only protect me from the Honorable Anjala, I don't know why he's fond of always shouting in committees, in plenary, and everywhere, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, let me just assure the leader of minority, as much as he may, and Honorable Speaker, with your indulgence, you allowed that statement, but I was just wondering where it sits in view of the Standing Order 87-2, in terms of seeking to reopen something that was already decided on. but should he be seeking guidance on the way forward? Honorable Speaker, I want to assure you and the House that as chair of the selections committee, we are ready to facilitate the minority leadership to make whatever changes they want to make, and it will be within their right, Honorable Speaker. But at the end of the day, Honorable Speaker, again, we must always remember, and I did remind the leader of the minority whip last time, that committees act and sit on behalf of the House. And whatever decision then, and any report that comes from a committee, then must eventually land in plenary for the House to make a decision and a determination on it. So that, Honorable Speaker, we entrench our democracy such that we do not seem to be infringing on anybody's rights, even members of parliament, whether they are within our coalition or any other coalition, Honorable Speaker. And with that, Honorable Speaker, I beg to respond in that manner.
Thank you, Honorable Majority and Minority. From what both of you are saying, I don't see any problem. I will advise the minority leader to liaise with the majority leader as the chair of selections committee, and if you wish to call for a sitting of the committee and prosecute your issues, go ahead and do so. Next statement is from the Honorable Joshua Kandia. Yes, Carol Omondi, what is the problem? What is out of order?
Mr. Speaker, sir, I was just wondering under order Standing Order number 91, whether we could use that to question where a member is bringing forward a legal argument that is not founded, because it will not be substantiated. I think the problem with, if you read Standing Orders number 172, 171 and 172, is that there's a hangover that we have from our previous political system, parliamentary system. And that is what is explaining the statement by the minority leader. If you look at this, what we have now, a presidential system, which informs the phrasing of Standing Order 171 and 172, the placement of members in committees is the work of the selection committee. It's not the work of the political parties, as is in a parliamentary system of government. It is the work of the selection committee. Why? Because every member walks into this chamber with a free mandate under presidential system of government. In a parliamentary system, you walk into this chamber with a bound mandate, having sought your election on a political party platform. So it is very different, Mr. Speaker, and I'm wondering whether it is in order for the minority leader to try to apply rules of parliamentary systems of government to a presidential system of government. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I hear you, but I don't want to open debate on this. I think I had already given direction, Honorable Wandayi. Give him the mic.
Listen, I think the Honorable Karoli Omondi didn't listen to me keenly, because he's now reading Standing Order 171 and 172 in isolation. And I went further to read 173, which I want just to repeat for record purposes.
It is on Hansard.
And I can also excuse him because he's a new member, Honorable Speaker. He's just learning the ropes. Mr. Speaker, 173 requires that unless otherwise provided by any written law or these standing orders, the Committee on Selection shall, in consultation with parliamentary parties other than parliamentary parties and independent, nominate members who shall serve on a select committee. That is the catchphrase. Thank you. Thank you.
Honorable Kandia.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Pursuant to provisions of Standing Order 44-2C, I rise to request a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Environment, Forestry and Mining regarding the stalled Grandich Water Supply Project Phase 2 in Baringo County. Mr. Speaker, can you protect me from Wanjala?
Honorable Wanjala, Honorable Kandia is seeking the protection of the chair from you.
Honorable Speaker, Grandich Dam was constructed between 1994 and 2000 under Grandich Phase 1 project funded by the government of Kenya with the support from the Italian government. In 2007, the dam system presented challenges including lack of wastewater management system in Kabarnet town, functional failures of the dam instrumentation systems, high operation and maintenance costs, among others. Honorable Speaker, to address the challenges, the board was prompted to design a phase 2 of the project through a loan of euros 18,856,000 from the government of Italy. The scope of phase 2 of the project included the extension of water supply to Kabartonjo, Kaptorokwa, Faya Kabasis, Kituro, and Kapkut, sewerage system for Kabarnet town, purchase and installation of the dam's electrical and instrumentation equipment, among other works. The contracts for the works was awarded in 2016 to Cospin SRL in joint venture with Norofi SRL and Hydroace Engineering SRL. The dam was expected to commence in 2016 and be completed in 2018. However, as of May 2018, the completion rate of the named project stood at 3.1%, which was far below the initial agreement. Honorable Speaker, for 7 years since inception of this project, the contractor severally requested for extension of the timelines. But despite the numerous extensions that were granted, nothing much has been done except the setting up of contractors' camp, which is also incomplete. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I seek a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Environment, Forestry and Mining on the following. 1, could the chairperson explain the reasons why